Good day to everybody out there. To see thy wealth, water your health, drink a glass of water. See thy wealth, drink a glass of water. Charleston White, Charleston White's been doing a lot of interviews lately, and I watched one of the latest ones that he did with Anton Daniels. And one of the things that he said is, the strongest man in the land is the man who wakes up and don't have to ask anyone for a thing. The strongest man in the land is the man who wakes up and don't have to ask anyone for a thing. One more time, Charleston White. The strongest man in the land is the man who wakes up and don't have to ask anyone for a thing. Now, Charleston White's word is not gospel, but he's been getting a lot of views. He's in the algorithm really heavy. And while I don't agree with how he gains his attention or everything that he says, that stuck out to me because I'm in that position right now. And the question that I have to ask Charleston is he in that position? And resonates with me so much because that's all I've been talking about here for the last 3 to 4 months. Buying you some land, becoming self-sufficient, get you some solar, get you a well water, get you a property that doesn't have a mortgage, grow your own food. That's all I've been talking about in the last 3 to 4 months. Plus, but more so intensely in the last 3 to 4 months. And to hear this man tell it and talk about it while he's been getting all these views. See, he's been talking all this crazy stuff. We pick and talk about everything that grabbed the headlines, where he's about this one, where he's talking about this baby or that baby and that one dying. But nobody grasped that. The strongest man in the land is the man who wakes up and doesn't have to ask anyone for a thing. I bet you he has to ask somebody for a thing. I bet you he does. He has to pay a mortgage. He has to pay a car payment. He has to go out. He has to pay a water bill every month. He has to pay electrical bill every month. He has to go to the grocery store every month, every week, or every other day. See, when people talk like that, a lot of this stuff goes over people's head because Charleston isn't living that. He's not living that he's the strongest man in the land. See, but if he was on his own 1 acre, half acre, 25,000 acres, and he was showing that he was the strongest man in the land with his guns, his cattle, his ranch, his well water, no mortgage, solar, community, food, garden, shelter. If he was showing that while saying that, it would touch a lot more people differently. But instead, he's on this camera with 2 chains on, multiple wristwatches, dressing like the entertainer or the rapper that he talks about and disdains, but he's not giving you the example. Same thing like Hassan Campbell. They're not giving you the example of what they're telling you to go to. They're telling you to run away from this group of people, the same group of people that they depend on, that they ask for things every month. They're telling you to run away from this people, but they're not showing you that they have the infrastructure to be the powerful man on the land. See, it's a disconnect. It's almost like the old Nick in the hood telling the younger to do this and do that, and you can't do that because this ain't gonna happen for you. Meanwhile, the old nigga staying at his mom's house, he ain't got shit. He's on the block every day. He ain't got nothing to show for it. That's equivalent to what Charleston is doing. He's sitting on the camera with 2 chains on, a Rolex watch, dressing like the rapper, telling you what you should and shouldn't do, telling you what's wrong with the rapper, but he don't have none of the things that he's telling. He don't have none of this stuff. He don't have the land with no mortgage. He don't have solar power. He doesn't have the well water. He doesn't have on his own food. And that's not to say anything he's less of a man. That's just saying it's a disconnect. It's not making sense. How can I tell you to go buy thousands of pieces of real estate if I can't show you 1 house, 2 or 3, 4 houses? How can I tell you to invest in promissory notes if I can't even show you a security deed or a promissory note? Multiple. How can I do this? How can I tell you to invest in a farm if I can't show you a farm? You're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. How can I tell you not to be sitting out here drinking alcohol, but every time you see me on the camera, I got a fifth of Henny? It's not connecting. It's a disconnect. So while you know that the strongest man on the land is the one who doesn't have to ask anybody for anything, you're not showing that. You're not on your own platforms, doing your own interviews, on your own land, with your own water, with your own solar, with your own no mortgage. You're not doing those things, sir. So the connection has to be showing what you're doing to me. But see, a lot of us online, we don't care to see what you're doing. We just want to hear it. If it sounds good and it looks good, that's all that matters to a lot of us. It don't have to be shown. There doesn't have to be any receipts. All it has to be is dialogue. Dialogue, dialogue, dialogue. No show me. I can show you a security deed right now that I sold, a promissory note, but I had to execute an assignment. See, when you sell a promissory note, you have to assign that over to the new borrower or the new creditor. See, it started with me. I was the originator. I originated the loan that I sent to a loan officer to do all the paperwork for me, because the loan officer is in compliance every year with the continuing education, and they know all the disclosures that the borrower has to get when you're extending them a promissory note, a mortgage. So I send the borrower to the loan officer so the loan officer can be the middleman to conduct the transaction for a flat fee, right? The borrower goes through everything that the middleman needs them to do. Once that is done, the transaction gets completed through the lawyer. The lawyer drafts everything up. The loan officer, they do everything on their end. Everybody works in together. Transaction gets completed. Once the transaction is completed, I send all that paperwork over to the third-party company, servicing company, that collects those payments on our behalf for however long we have the loan. I say, you know what? I'm tired of collecting the payments on this. I don't want to receive the $800 a month from this loan anymore. I want to just sell it outright. So that's what we do. I assign the contract, or I assign the promissory note over to someone else who wants to collect those payments, who has the $40,000 to $50,000 in the bank, and say, you know what, we don't want the $40,000 to $50,000 sitting in the bank collecting no money really, so we'll give it to you, and you assign that promissory note over to us because it's collecting 9.5%. We'd rather have the $50,000 sitting in this promissory note collecting 9.5% than sitting in PNC Bank collecting 0.9 of a 9, whatever percent. Doesn't make sense. So I assigned the contract over to them, and now they're in response. I'm out of the deal now. But it wouldn't make sense for me to talk about these things if I can't even show you. That's a lot more technical. Only the savvy ones understand what I said just now. Probably lost a lot of y'all with just that explanation. But if you really want to understand the concept of what I'm talking about, just go to www.thenotepusher.com, THENOTEPUSHER.com, and get my ebook. It explains it all. That's a new way to invest. It's not a wholesaling thing. It's not a fix and flip. It's not a buy and hold. It's not a Airbnb. It's not none of that. Tax liens, tax deeds, none of that shit. This is something totally different. This is acting as the lender, the position of the king. Cash is king, credit is queen. So if I'm lending you money, I'm in the king position. I don't know, man. These guys like Charleston White, Hassan Campbell. I just saw 19 Keys did a video with, or a picture with Yaki. They seem to look like they're on some type of land or something, you know, with a lake or river, whatever it is. I don't know. I watch everybody, man. I watch a lot of people. It's good to see guys getting land and trying to level up in that capacity, but to be talking it and not actually showing it and living it, it's a disconnect. People don't want to hear it. And that's where I think we get lost at. But anyhow, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. This is See Thy Wealth, Water Your Health. Drink a glass of water. Peace.